What's going on, guys? This is Tyler with Simply Fragrances, and today I'm bringing you a tag video. Another tag video I'm starting, so if you want to see what this tag video is all about, be sure to keep it right here. Alright guys, welcome back. Like I said, my name is Tyler. This is my channel, Simply Fragrances, where we talk everything fragrance related. We're doing top 10 videos, seasonal videos, tag videos, interviews, weekly fragrance rotations, everything that encompasses fragrances you can find right here. So if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, be sure to hit that red subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the love and support you have shown this channel. So guys, like I said, I got a tag video, and what's kind of cool is, you know, this idea came before a couple people put their videos out. I just haven't been able to record it or to film it. I've been talking with a buddy about it, and so it's just kind of cool because I know that my boy Jeremy at House of Colossus, he did this, and then Ross, he did something in the vein of this, you know, with fragrances that you know, he's had for a while, that they're still good. Maybe a top note might be spoiled, but just showing that you know, it doesn't just take, you know, these high-end fragrances, you know, that last a long time. There was some stuff on there that was, you know, regarded, you know, nowadays as cheapies, and they're still good. But what am I talking about, guys? So this tag is going to be called Back in My Day. Now here's what this is all about. I'm going to show you some of the fragrances that I was rocking back, you know, elementary school, middle school, high school, and even into, you know, my early, you know, teen or late teens and then early 20s. I figured I kind of leave it off there. Since I just turned 30, I figured, you know what, I'll show some stuff that I was rocking, you know, in my 19, 18, you know, 20, you know, since that's been, you know, 10, 12, you know, years ago. So I'm going to make this tag video, so be sure and stick around to see who I tag. But first up on the list, I don't have a bottle of this. I was stupid. I didn't know, I mean, no one knows, you know, that fragrances are just going to skyrocket in price, but the last bottle I had, I actually gave away to my buddy Kyle. You know, it is what it is, and I'm kicking myself in the pants for it. Who knows if I'd even still have it, but this stuff, I used to get this at Walmart all day long for like 19, 20 bucks, guys. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna leave a little picture up here. This stuff is going for $500 on eBay. I mean, that's like ridiculous. I mean, you can still get it for, you know, $240, $250, places like that. You know, I've seen it in that range, but this guy's asking $500 for Cody's Avatar. Now this is, I mean, in a similar vein-ish, I guess, if you will, of like an Aventus cologne before Aventus came out. It's kind of like got this citrus pineapple in the opening. It's kind of got this musky, woody, dry down to it, but it was overall just a very pleasant, easygoing fragrance. I used to rock this in high school, and man, I was slaying the women with it. Not really, but I did get a lot of compliments off of it, and it was one of my go-tos in, you know, like late middle school, early high school. But I wanted to start with this one since I didn't have a bottle. But let's move on to the next fragrance. Alright guys, so the next fragrance on this list, you've heard me talk about it a million times. This is the fragrance that actually started my obsession, okay? So if you don't know, and you haven't been on the channel for this long, this one was the one that did it for me. This is the one that got me into fragrances hardcore and got me just wearing them. And I was super young. I think I was like second, third grade, somewhere in there. But I was rocking the original Nautica. Now, this is a shadow of what it used to be, guys. This, I mean, in the dry down on the cap, it smells similar to what this used to be. But guys, for a fresh Nautica aquatic type style fragrance, the original Nautica back in the 90s, it was a beast. I'm talking, you know, 6, 7, 8 hours plus, depending on how much you sprayed. I used to give my parents headaches because, you know, I would do like 7, 8 sprays as a young kid going into second, third grade, rocking it. But guys, it smells so good. I got it as a gift, and for whatever reason, I just thought it was the best smelling thing in the entire world. And so that was my signature scent, if you could have a signature scent in second or third grade. But Nautica, the original, that's what got me started into it. So this one definitely had to make this list. Next fragrance on the list, if you are 30 and under, this actually might be the reason why you're here. Let's just be honest. Our pops, they were probably wearing this. Our fathers, our dads, they were probably rocking this hardcore back in the 90s, late 80s. And for good reason, and even up into the early 2000s, because this stuff was a staple, guys. This was an amazing, amazing fragrance. I used to rock this all the time in middle school, guys. I was slaying them when I was wearing Davidoff Cool Water. Now, this has been, you know, labeled the cheap man's Great Irish Tweed, and I gotta say there's a lot of similarities to it, but it's not quite the same. I feel this is a bit more spicy, if that makes more sense. It's got this more of a musky tone towards it, and this, unfortunately, this is also kind of a shadow of what it used to be. This lasts every bit maybe in 4 hours. It's just, it doesn't have that punch. I mean, due to reformulations, who knows what it was. But back in middle school, man, I would do like 3, 4, 5 sprays somewhere in there, and I would get compliments all day long. Even the teachers were like, Tyler, why do you smell this good? Like, you're in middle school, why are you wearing cologne? And I think there's one time there was a teacher that I mean, obviously in school, you always have, like, you know, that one teacher you just kind of crushing on or whatever, and she told me I smelled good, and then she asked that question. She was like, Tyler, why are you wearing cologne? And I was like, it got you to notice me, didn't it? So I was trying to hustle the teachers back in middle school, but I was rocking Davidoff Cool Water, and even to this day, guys, it smells good. It's just not the strongest projector, at least off my skin. And the bottle that I got, it's just a shadow of what it used to be. But Davidoff Cool Water, had to make this list. All right, guys, so the next fragrance on the list, shout out to my boy Ross. I know this is one of his favorites. This is also a go-to of mine back in late elementary, like I think it was like 3rd, 4th grade. So I was rocking this up into, you know, the early middle school, and pretty much all throughout my life. I just, you know, recently acquired a bottle not too long ago because I had ran through a bottle and there was just so many other things I was trying to get. But what am I talking about, guys? This literally smells like the 90s and early 2000s. And this is Tommy. This stuff, man, it's just clean, musky. It's got this unique cactus note in here. It's kind of what it's known for. And it's just a dang good fragrance, guys. Even to this day, even with reformulations, it lasts. I mean, it's not going to be like a room filler by any means, but it's just this nice, fresh, spicy, citrusy, you know, kind of aquatic-y type vibe to it. Got this woody, musky dry down. And like I said, it just smells like the 90s and early 2000s. And I was rocking this in elementary, middle school, even sometimes in high school. But Tommy had to make the list. All right, guys, so the next fragrance on this list, if this wasn't every high schooler's go-to scent, at least in, you know, like the early 2000s, late 90s, I don't know what was, guys. This stuff was a beast, like literally a beast. Like the scent trail that you would leave behind you literally went for miles. Like, I've got more compliments in school off this fragrance than all of my other fragrances combined. What am I talking about, guys? From Liz Claiborne, this is Curve. Man, this stuff, as you can see at the bottle, I mean, for what, oh, I got goosebumps on that one just on the cap. Ooh, man, that takes me back right now. Now, I am in freshman year wearing way too much of this, but that was my stuff, guys. I was always known as a guy that smelled good, and this was what I was wearing most days. I did, you know, I threw in the rotations, don't get me wrong, but I got more compliments and I got more just attention wearing this stuff than anything else ever. Like, it was an amazing, amazing fragrance. It used to be a little bit stronger. It's not quite as strong. It's not super weak, but don't hear me out. Don't get me wrong. This stuff, it's not exactly a weak performer still, but there was something, I don't know if it was the sandalwood that was amped up or what it was, but there just used to be more of like a creamy sandalwood facet to this. And this still lasts, don't get me wrong. You know, you're getting 6, 7, 8 hours depending on how many sprays you do, but this stuff, man, off of 5 or 6 sprays, I was getting like 10 hours, guys. It was absolute a projection monster off of my skin. It would fill a room. It was subtle. It was sneaky strong, as Ross would say. You know, you didn't quite know that you were pumping out, but this stuff was pumping out, filling the room. The scent trail, guys, I would be at my locker, okay, and then people down the hallway would be like looking and like smelling, seeing who's smelling good, and then they would walk up to me and say, oh, it's you. We could smell you all the way down the hall. Now, was I wearing too much? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Actually, I know I was. But still, they could smell it. It was lovely. Curve from Liz Claiborne, man, this was just my juice back in high school, guys. Awesome stuff. Had to be on the list. Okay guys, so this next fragrance, this was like an early 2000 staple from like 2001 to probably 2005, 6, 7-ish, maybe somewhere in there. You know, this was, had a good probably 5-6 year run, but this house anyways, but this stuff was just a beast, guys. I love this stuff. Apparently I had expensive taste back then, but didn't know it because I didn't know that Ed Hardy's Love and Luck smelled like Creed's Millicent Imperial, at least a little bit. But man, this stuff, whoo, man. So many first dates I went on this with high school. Like, this stuff was absolutely amazing. Bright, fresh, kind of melon, citrusy. Like I said, it does kind of resemble that Creed's Millicent Imperial. That's what they were going off of. But the House of Ed Hardy, man, if you guys were around back then, especially someone, you know, around my age, I just turned 30. In high school, if you didn't have Ed Hardy shirts or clothes or pants or those weird shoes, like just everything Ed Hardy, then you weren't popping. And I was definitely not rocking the shirt so much, but I was definitely rocking Ed Hardy's Love and Luck. It was my favorite out of the batch, or the house, and even today, I mean, it still smells good. It's not as strong as it used to be. It used to be a little bit better of a performer. It's still not terrible by any means, but I mean, you're getting probably 3, 4, 5 hours maybe. Back then you were getting 6, 7, 8 hours depending on how many sprays you do. But great summertime fragrance. This was my after gym, I think it was after gym class, yeah, because I would take a shower after gym and then spray this on heavy and then just go about my day. I would rock it just on the weekends, man. This stuff, love this stuff, guys. Ed Hardy's Love and Luck. Guys, so the next fragrance on the list, man, this should come as no surprise. I'm a huge Chicago Bulls fan. Shout out to my boy Dave from Cali's Groom Room. He's also a Chicago Bulls fan, and in the mid to late 90s, man, everything was just Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls. And he even got a couple fragrances. And so in middle school, man, what I was rocking was Michael Jordan cologne. Man, this takes me literally right back to like 5th and 6th grade. I don't know why I love this stuff so much, but I would get this at Walmart. I mean, I wouldn't, my parents would. You know, it was like, I think 19, 20 bucks, something like that, you know, not too expensive. But I was rocking this, you know, I just got into a new bottle here probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years. Don't really spray it all that much. A little bit's gone, but I mainly just kind of smell it for nostalgic purposes. But I would wear this to like school dances and just like to church. Like, it was just a good kind of musky, citrusy type of fragrance. Not a lot of citrus, but it's mainly got this woody, musky vibe to it. Very unique scent. Like, nothing, at least to my nose, that I've smelled has smelled similar to this. I mean, I don't really know of anything, but this stuff, man, this was a staple back in like 5th, 6th, 7th grade for me. Loved it. Like I said, wore it to school a lot, wore it to churches, wore it to my friend's house. They would always be like, man, what are you wearing? That smells so good. And I was rocking Michael Jordan cologne. All right, guys, so this next fragrance on this list, man, this is super sentimental to me because, as you guys know, if you've been part of my channel for any length of time, you know this was my first, like, what I would consider like a big purchase. I didn't know anything about discounted sites or anything like that. Don't even know if they were really around back then, but around I guess it'd be 2011. No, about 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. So well over 10 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But I was rocking Versace Man Eau Fraiche. This stuff, man, this just takes me right back to just the first time I moved out, you know, my parents' house, got my own place, me and a couple other roommates, got my first car, got my first job. This stuff is so sentimental. Like I said, you know, with it being, you know, 10 plus years, I thought, you know, this would be able to make the list because it was back in my day. This was one of the first, you know, big purchases I ever got. You know, I didn't know anything about discounted sites, and you know, I just knew that I wanted to smell good. I walked in the dealer just kind of shopping around looking for stuff, and then this caught my attention. I liked the bottle, I smelled it, and I was like, yep, I gotta have this. So I paid full retail for it, and just the memories that I have with this, you know, going to work, you know, just my first, you know, what I would consider, you know, actual job. You know, you get your first car. I bought my first car with this, you know, just going on so many first dates and just wearing this to church and, you know, just all kinds of different stuff, guys. Versace's Man Eau Fraiche was a fragrance that brought me into manhood. I was discovering who I wanted to be and just the type of man that I was going to become. And I was rocking Versace Man Eau Fraiche, smelling so fresh. So this definitely had to make the list. All right, guys, so we have made it to the last fragrance on the list. Thank you so much for watching this far. I really do appreciate that. And this last fragrance on the list, man, I wanted to go with something super nostalgic and something super sentimental to me. This is a fragrance that I wore a lot, but also my dad wore. And so I could literally remember going in, you know, to his cabinet where he kept his, you know, aftershaves and stuff like that, and going in there, stinking a couple sprays on before school, before I went onto the bus. And you know, I was getting compliments from the kids. I thought I smelled good. Teachers were like, "Oh, you smell really good. What is that?" You know, and it's weird, you know, like a 4th, 5th, 6th grader wearing this stuff, but it was just so good. And if you're under the age of 15, you probably won't remember the impact that this had on the fragrance community. But if you're 30 and above, man, this stuff, you know all too well what Jacquard Noir did to the fragrance community. And just like Cool Water, this one, man, this is probably one of the reasons why a lot of us are here as well. This stuff was a just monster back in the 80s, 90s, and even into the early 2000s. This is just what almost every man was wearing because it smelled so good. It's just kind of got this barbershop gentleman vibe to it, a lot of musk in here. It is just absolutely amazing. Sadly, tragically, this is not even a shadow of what it used to be. I can't even say that, guys. This stuff is so weak, so watered down compared to what it used to be. I'm on the hunt for a vintage bottle just because it means so much to me, and it was just something that I was rocking back in my day. And man, it is just so good. If you guys like those barbershop fougere gentleman kind of style fragrances with some amped up musk, this is one that, man, I would recommend. Even the new bottles, if you've never smelled it, it'll give you kind of an idea. But this stuff used to be just a powerhouse, you know, 4 or 5 sprays and you were good all day. Now I'll spray 9, 10, 12 sprays of this stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but literally within a couple hours, it's faded. It just doesn't last at all. But Jacquard Noir definitely had to make this list. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate that. Guys, be sure and check out my last video with the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Make sure you guys enter that. It is a crazy awesome giveaway. You guys want to get on that. So be sure to check out that video for all the details. Comment down below, guys, what you thought of the list. Did some of these fragrances make your list if you had to do a nostalgic list? And also, I got to pick some people. I almost forgot. I made this tag video, so I gotta pick some people. So I'm gonna tag Brian from My 2 Cents. I'm gonna tag Chris from the Fragtastic Mr. Fox, and I'm gonna reach out to Joe from An Unaverage Joe. I'm gonna tag you, bro. I never tagged you before. I think this would be a fun one. Who else am I gonna tag? I'm gonna tag, let's see, I'm gonna tag Mark from Aussie Fragrances. I want to see what stuff he was rocking back in the day. And then I'm gonna tag my boy John from Proverbs 27:9. He's kind of a new guy. Guys, be sure and go check his channel out. Super awesome guy. Been talking with him, and he's just a super cool dude. So I want to know what fragrances you guys were rocking back in the day. Guys, like I said, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'll catch you in the next video. And remember, if you love it, wear it.